The weird world of Tim Hollis, it's muscles, mahogany, mighty milkshake, green kangaroo, and trust me, they're really cool, they're really nice and really fun. A role model for everyone, the Tim Hollis's creation of Weird World.
And now our host, Tim Hollis.
Thank you, folks. Well, it's great to be back with you for our second episode. And we're going to have a lot of fun here today. We're going to have another of the old stories that I wrote about Weird World back in the days when I was first starting out as an author. We're going to tell you how you can be in our studio audience. As you can see, we have kind of limited seating for our studio audiences, so we'd like for you to get your reservation in there. The strange thing is that my co-host, Muscles Mahogany, isn't here. She's always supposed to be with me when we open the program, and I don't know where she is. I hope she'll get here soon. But while we're waiting on her, I wanted to share a letter with you that I got. This letter came in from the ruler there in Weird World, Hank Schwartz. You heard all about him in our first program. Well, I was kind of nervous about how Hank Schwartz was going to react to having a TV program about his country, because he's kind of a private person. Nobody can go to Weird World unless he invites them to be there. But he sent me this letter, and he actually says that he thinks it's a great idea. He says that he's wanted to advertise Weird World ever since he became the ruler there, and he's wanted to be a ruler his whole life. He says here that even when he was a kid, he was always campaigning for some office or another. He says, I even had pins made with my head printed on them. Pinhead Hank Schwartz, I used to call me. He says, Pinhead Hank Schwartz, probably the most prominent person ever picked by plutocrat or plumber, poet or peasant as the prize promoter of praiseworthy projects, pointed to by perspicacious politicians as the pick of the populace to pioneer and putting the People's Party in power on a platform, playing up the parking problem and punishing the political parts, polluting the public payroll, and praised by even the paid press for properly purging pomp and palooka from Pasadena to old Palooka. That's Hank Schwartz for you. Boy, now that I've heard from him, I kind of wonder if we ever want to hear from him again. Well, while we're waiting on Mahogany to get here, and while you're trying to figure out what all of that actually meant, we're going to have a word from one of our fine sponsors. We love our sponsors so much that we want to hear from them right now, and then we'll be back in a moment. So see you in a moment.
Ahoy, mates! I wants to tell you about Operation Comics Relief. It's a non-profit which sends comic books to our soldiers and sailors overseas. It brings them a little bit of home. Find out how you can help Operation Comics Relief.
Where's everyone going? To sign up with ACT Models and Talent Booking Agency. We also host beauty pageants, model searches, and hire out pageant judges, scouts, and MCs. We represent all ages, sizes, and ethnicities, as well as all types of talent and lookalikes. Be sure to visit our website, actmodels-talent.com.
ACT is where it's at!
And we're back. And, I still don't know where Mahogany is. She should have been here by this time. And, here she is. Hey, kid, what happened to you? We've been on the air for about 5 minutes already. What happened?
Well, on the way here, I had to stop at the school.
A school?
Yeah.
What happened?
I met this girl named Dorky Daisy.
And okay. And
she just looked really sad, and I felt like I needed to help her out.
All right.
Hey there, honey. Can I be of any help?
Nobody can help me. I'm beyond help.
Aw, don't feel that way. I'm Muscles Mahogany, and I'm practically a bodyguard.
Well, I could sure use one. The bullies in the school are making my life miserable.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a bully. What are they doing to you, sweetie?
Well, they make fun of my hair, and they make fun of my clothes and my glasses, and they make fun of me for being such a klutz in PE class.
That's terrible.
Just today, one of them posted a photo online of me tripping and falling on my face. And Jim, just look at it.
Oh, that had to hurt.
Not as much as what they're doing to me ever since they saw it. They started calling me Dorky Daisy.
Sup, dork?
Well, I've seen enough. You know, I had trouble with a bunch of bullies when I was your age. And I found out the best way to handle them is stand up to them and show them who's boss.
Well, that's easy for you to say. You're so big and strong and brave.
Yeah, but I wasn't always like this. I think I got what you need. Come on, let's go inside. You need is confidence in yourself. Then you'll be able to take on those bullies.
But how do I do that?
Here, take a chunk of that and eat it, and then you'll see.
A plain old protein bar?
Oh, not a plain one. This is a recipe I invented myself whenever I had to deal with my own gang of bullies.
It's good, but how is this supposed to help?
Oh, you'll see any minute now.
But how? Ooh! Ow! What's happening to my hands? My arms? My legs? What's...
Now do you see what I mean?
Whoa! I've never been strong before. Just check out these muscles!
That's how I got my name.
And check out these abs.
Do you still feel like a klutz in the gym?
Are you kidding? Just watch this.
Think you're ready to show those bullies where they made their big mistake?
I'll say, I'm gonna go face them down right now. And if they try anything funny, they'll be face down on the floor. Hey, you!
Well, would you look at this, fellas? Little dorky Daisy looks like she's trying to join the gymnastic teams. How many bones are you trying to break today, dork?
Don't give me any ideas. I'd rather not do anything that would get me in trouble with the principal. I'd rather do things the peaceful way.
Oh, you're not trying to fight back, huh?
I will if I have to, but I'd rather not do anything with violence. You see, it's not nice to pick on anybody, especially if they're a lot smaller and weaker than you are. You see, everybody deserves a little thing called respect. And respect is something that should be automatic and not have to be earned.
Hey Spike, little dork, Daisy, begin to make sense.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do now?
Well, I'd like it just fine if you promise to not pick on any other kids. And I'll be watching to make sure you don't. And if I ever see you picking on any helpless kids again...
We promise.
We promise.
Good! And to make sure we understand each other, let's shake on it. Anybody else want to shake hands?
See, I told you that all you needed was a little confidence in yourself.
You were right, Mahogany. And I don't think those bullies will be bothering anybody else while I'm around.
Well, I'm late for a TV show, but on the way out, show me your locker so I can stock it full of protein bars.
Ooh, yum!
Boy, that was quite an experience you had there. I sure do hope that kid's going to be okay from now on.
Me too.
It sure sounded like she was going to be.
She definitely gained a lot of confidence.
I'll say she did. Well, I'll tell you, we're going to be, in a minute, we're going to be doing one of the Weird World stories. But before we do that, I'm going to talk to about half of our studio audience here.
Okay.
And we're going to find out a little bit about them. Let's start with this guy back here. What's your name?
Camden.
Camden. You know, I know this kid. This guy is basically me when I was his age. You know, you're really into the animation history and the comics and all of that, yeah. And like I said, needless to say, I was doing all of that too when I was his age. And I know you too. What's your name?
I'm Crystal Reed.
This is one of our fine sponsors, and if she keeps sponsoring our program, I'm going to go over there and kiss her. That's what I'm going to do. That's going to be, I was going to say, now, was that a threat or was that a what? Anyway. But we surely appreciate her being one of the sponsors on our program.
I really enjoy it.
And what is your name?
Felicia.
This is Felicia. And Felicia, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or is that a question? I guess that's a question, isn't it?
I don't know. I want to be... I don't know.
Okay, well, when she grows up, she'll let us know what she turned out to be, okay? Well, we're going to talk to the rest of the audience before the program is over with, but right now, it's time for another commercial, and who knows, it might even be one of Crystal's commercials. So stay tuned so you can see her in action, and we'll be back in just a moment.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. Have you been arrested for a drug charge, DWI, or DUI? Have you been injured on the job or in an automobile accident through no fault of your own? Are you dealing with domestic violence, divorce, child support, or custody matters? Do you have questions about estate planning, preparing your power of attorney, or drafting a will? For all your legal needs, call Crystal Reed.
All right, folks, that was a nice break with those commercials that we had there. And now it's time for us to do one of the old Weird World stories that I wrote so long ago. And first, I'm going to draw the character that is the main character in this story. There was a guy there in Weird World that everyone really liked. He's a good friend of yours, Horatio Hippo.
I love that guy.
I know. Horatio, he's not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, but he's a really nice guy. So I'm going to show you here what he looks like. We're going to start off with his ear like that. And while I'm drawing Horatio here, another interesting thing about him, when I was a kid and first writing the Weird World stories, it was almost like I had my own cartoon studio. There were other kids who were actually creating characters for me to work with, or for me to write stories with, and Horatio was one of those. He was actually created by a girl who was in the 5th grade with me. Her name was Anita Skinner, and she actually created Horatio in the fall of 1972, and I think she might have written 1 or 2 stories with him, and then she turned him over to me to write about from that point on. But the interesting thing is that Anita is watching this episode, so while I'm drawing Horatio, I want everyone to wave and say, "Hi, Anita."
Hi, Anita.
All right, she'll appreciate that while I finish Horatio here. Horatio, as you can see, is kind of a fancy dresser with his double-breasted suit there, and his cane, and his frock coat.
He looks just like him.
I know. It's
identical.
I'm glad that I'm actually able to show you what these characters really look like. Mahogany lives with them every day. And there's all kinds of folks that live there in Weird World. Some of them are nice guys. Some of them are bad guys. But anyway, that's pretty much what Horatio Hippo looked like. And now we're going to do a story about him that... this was one of the more unusual experiences that Horatio had. And I think that we need to have our musical director, Mr. Wiener Schnitzel, cue some scary music here. So, Mr. Wiener Schnitzel, scary music, please. That's good. All right. Well, here's how this story goes. It begins like this. The wind howled mournfully around the old deserted-looking castle on the hillside. Inside, a creepy old man with wispy gray hair was talking to his equally ghoulish assistant. "Ah, yes, Igor," he croaked.
Hey, why do mad scientists always have assistants named Igor?
I don't know. I'll ask the next mad scientist I run into.
Don't forget.
Okay, I'll remember that. All right. Back to the story. Inquiring minds want to know. Back to the story. "Ah, yes, Igor," he croaked. "The monster is almost finished, except for a brain."
How could you forget about it?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't have one himself. "When the first unsuspecting traveler comes to our door..." Well, now it just so happened that just as the mad scientist was speaking these words, Horatio Hippo was making his way up the mountain. Actually, Horatio's home was in Weird World, but while visiting his relatives in Africa, he had somehow lost his way and ended up in the spookiest part of Germany.
That's a long way away.
It's a long way from Weird World, too, but yeah. Well, arriving at the castle door, Horatio knocked. The door creaked open by itself, and in he went. "Good evening," hissed Dr. Frankenstein. "We've been waiting for you."
That's kind of creepy.
"For you," repeated Igor. Oh, really?" said Horatio, not the least bit nervous. "How nice." "Welcome to the Broken Arms Hotel," continued the mad doctor. "I am the manager. Permit yourself to spend the night here."
There is no way I would spend the night.
Well, before Horatio could say yes or no, Igor had dragged him away and put him in the dungeon. "I hope I can get a good night's sleep," Horatio said. "Oh, by tomorrow you'll be sleeping sounder than ever before," sneered Igor, "because by then you'll be just dead on your feet." Then he slammed the door and locked it. "Strange little guy," mumbled Horatio. Then he fell asleep and dreamed it was Halloween. The next morning, the doctor and Igor had gone to the flea market to buy some fleas.
That's not what you buy at the flea market.
Well, they did. Horatio put on his coat, got his hat and cane, and squeezed through the bars of the door. That wasn't easy to do for a guy as fat as that. He didn't know how to get out of the castle, so he wandered around until he came to the laboratory. Now it's getting good, isn't it? He saw the monster lying under a sheet, but of course he didn't know what it was. He happened to lean against a button on a large, evil-looking machine. Squeak! And up the monster got.
Oh no, he messed up.
He's in trouble now. It tapped Horatio on the shoulder. The blue hippopotamus turned around, and zoom, the chase was on. Yeah, there's our chase music going on there. The monster pursued Horatio all over the castle until Horatio ducked into an empty room, locked the door, and swallowed the key. Boom. He was breathing very hard from his run. But after he caught his breath, he still heard heavy breathing. No, it wasn't Darth Vader. He turned around slowly, and there was the monster behind him. Horatio went through the door. And I mean really through the door.
He must have been running really fast.
He was. They ran and they ran and they ran until Horatio passed a table with a lot of tools on it, including a sledgehammer. He grabbed the hammer, turned around to meet the monster, and Horatio scooped up the little pieces of metal and put them in a bucket. Gotta be neat, you know. He set the bucket on the table in the laboratory and left in a hurry.
I would too.
As soon as he got back to his house in Weird World, the first thing he did was sink into his favorite easy chair to rest, and he turned on his TV set. You can imagine how he reacted when on the screen loomed the face of Frankenstein's monster. Of course, it was only an old black and white movie that was running on the Weird World TV network's early late show. But after all he had been through, what?
That's not right. It's
What?
not the
Not
early
right?
late show.
I forgot. It was the late early show. That's right. But after all he had been through, it was just about more than Horatio could handle. In a panic, he ran screaming into the business, "Duh!" carrying his own house with him. And that was the last time Horatio ever left Weird World. And I don't blame him either. You know?
Either. I would stay there.
Anytime you leave Weird World, there's bound to be some kind of trouble, isn't it? You're taking a risk just by coming over here to do these programs here. But anyway, I hope you like that story. That one dated back to 1976. So, you know, that was, you can't really blame me for anything I did in 1976. I was too occupied with the bicentennial and making piggy banks out of Clorox jugs. I would draw the pictures on. Well, that's another story. We're not selling those around here. But we now are going to have another word from one of our wonderful sponsors, and when we come back, we will meet the rest of today's audience. So stay tuned.
Come enjoy our patio dining. Our daily specials. Our friendly staff and service. Our delicious desserts. More than just barbecue, Dearman's Barbecue. Since 1982. Come see us.
Weird World and myself, Crystal Reed, would like to thank
truck drivers,
farmers,
first responders,
law, medical, delivery services, educators,
and everyone else that assisted with COVID-19. Thank you.
Well, you know, on this show, we've been talking a lot about bullying. And of course, in all of Toontown, there was no more notorious bully than that bearded brute Bluto. Yes, you can see even on these old toys that are out of the Hollis Museum, he never stopped trying to find a way to defeat his rival Popeye. And in the cartoon we're going to have just now, he's going to be up to his old tricks again. So, let's give a big hand for that old bully Bluto and see if he gets his comeuppance like he usually does. Roll it!
Pardon me, Popeye. I gotta phone Ella for a date.
Just a minute, Bluto. I'm phoning Olive for a date.
Oh, yeah? You ain't calling no Olive and no date.
Hello, Olive. This is Popeye. How's about a date?
All right, Popeye. Come right over.
Okay.
You runt. Give me that phone.
Here you are.
Number, please. Number, please.
Hiya, Olive. Here's your little old lover bow.
I'll be ready in a minute, Popeye.
Okay, Olive. Take your time, but hurry up.
Oh, a pin. See a pin and pick it up, and all the day you'll have good luck.
So, Olive is superstitious, eh?
Look, Popeye, it's Friday the 13th. I'm not going out today.
Why, Olive, there's nothing to them silly old stupid stations, and I'll prove it to you. It's supposed to be bad luck to open an umbrella in the house.
Oh! Popeye, you close that umbrella immediately.
Don't be silly, Olive. Here, you hold it.
Oh, dear.
See, what did I tell you? There's absolutely nothing to that silly old stupid station.
So, nothing's going to happen.
But Olive.
Popeye, I'm not going out with you today.
But Olive.
Meow. Look! A black cat! It's bad luck. Don't let him cross my path.
Why, he's just a harmless cat which wants to make friends. Oh my gosh, the goldfish! The fish market is 2 blocks down. Turn to the right. Olive. Takes a look at yourself in the mirror, Olive, and sees how funny you looks.
Popeye, breaking a mirror is 7 years bad luck. And I never want to see you again.
Tough luck, pal. Why, that double-crossing Pluto? So you see, Olive, this being Thursday the 12th, and not Friday the 13th, it's safe for you to go out.
Well, that's different.
Look, Olive. A lucky horseshoe.
Being under a ladder is bad luck.
Bad luck? Oh, no!
3 on a batch is very bad luck.
Like I was saying, Olive, stupid stations is the bunk. Oh my gosh. Bread and butter.
And so we're back. Now, we interviewed half of our audience in the first part of our program, but we've got some wonderful looking folks here on the front row that we haven't gotten to yet. So I definitely want to find out who they are and what they're doing here. What's your name?
Braden Soccer.
This is Braden. All right, Braden. You know, there's a town in Florida named after you, Bradenton. Have you ever been there? All right, well, it's named after you, so you need to go and tell them that you're supposed to be the mayor there sometime. You know, just take over the whole town. Who cares? And now I get hate mail from all the people in Bradenton, Florida. But that's all right. I've been there before, so I probably won't ever be going there again. But anyway, what is your name?
Nora.
Nora. Oh, I love that name. Nora is the one that built the ark, you know. And like Popeye said, on his maiden voyage, it rained for 40 days every night. So always remember that. So All right, Nora, you and your arc, that was a great job you did there. I like that bow you got on there. Oh, that's a Christmas bow. We're celebrating a little bit early here. And what is your name?
Glenise.
Glenise, all right. Well, that's a beautiful name. That's beautiful hair you've got there.
Thank you.
I used to have hair, but you know, when you're young, your hair has a wave in it, but when you get my age, it waves bye-bye. You just don't see it anymore. But anyway, glad you came. I hope you'll be back to be with us sometime. And, you know, in just a minute, my friend Chris is going to tell you how you can be in our studio audience, because we would love to have any of you come visit us here in the studio and see the behind-the-scenes workings of all this crazy stuff we have going on. So, for now, I guess that wraps up my segment. I'm going to turn it over to Chris and Mahogany, and all I'll say for now is that we'll see you on our next episode. So everyone wave at the, wave bye, everyone. We'll say bye there, boys and girls. And now to Chris.
Hi, this is Chris Dooley. Thank you for watching our show. If you've been having trouble with bullies like Dorky Daisy did, and Mahogany isn't around to help, be sure and tell an adult, a parent, a teacher, or another guardian, because bullies need to be dealt with seriously and severely. Do not let yourself be a victim, and don't you be a bully either. We hope you'll join us for our next program, and remember, if you want to be in our studio audience or audition for any of our character roles, or even be one of our prestigious sponsors, you can email us at weirdworldtv@aol.com or call us at 205-739-8254. That's also where you can order our new Weird World coloring books, written and illustrated by none other than our host, Tim Hollis. They are only $5. And did you know that you can also hire any of our characters from the show to appear at your birthday party or special events?
How would you like me to come to your birthday party and meet you and all of your friends? I'll even give out my pictures and autograph them. What's that?
Did you hear something?
Yeah, someone else is being bullied and calling for my help. I'm on my way.
See you next time, everyone.
The weird world of Tim Hollis, it's muscles, mahogany, mighty milkshake, green kangaroo, and trust me, they're really cool, they're really nice and really fun. A role model for everyone. You got Lula Legs and Dorky Daisy, they're nice and really fun. Timothyana and Super Bright, a role model for everyone. From the weird world, they showed up and appeared right on your screen at the Tim Hollis's creation.
Promotional consideration furnished by TNT Tumblers, 1682 Horse Creek Boulevard, Dora, Alabama.
This has been a Hollis production.